Hello everyone and welcome to episode 55 of the TEW 2020 UJPW series here on the channel. As it is a new year in 1998 for this New Year Giant series. And as far as, before we get into the show and whatnot, we get to go through all the awards, so that should be fun. Unfortunately, we are a day before, or actually not a day before, day after rather, the awards, where we could have had it on this little screen, so that kind of sucks just from how easy that is from a viewing perspective. Instead, we have to go over here and to see kind of how everything is played out. But Kaiji Muto was, in fact, the Wrestler of the Year of 1997. Love that. Team of the Year was the Holy Demon Army, Taue and Kawada. Young Wrestler of the Year was Masato Tanaka. So far, you have seen we have been racking up the awards. Veteran Wrestler of the Year was Masano Fuchi, which I think that is well deserved. Female Wrestler of the Year was Akira Hokuto again, which she has won it literally every single year that we have been in the save. As Maruko Yoshida was the Independent Wrestler of the Year, which usually it has been Hokuto for the past couple of years, so that's nice, a little change of pace there. We won the Company of the Year, which we have been the Company of the Year basically every year besides 1992. Most Improved Company was the Pacific Northwest, which is fascinating because obviously they would have been long dead by the time 1998 had come around. Mainly, as far as they were done by the time 1995 rolled around. So it's kind of crazy they've went on for this long. So shout out the Pacific Northwest. Match of the year was Kaiji Muto vs. Terry Funk, which was 100. That was our only 100 so far. But yeah, that's the first time we won that award, so that was huge. Car of the year was also us. It was for the Champion Carnival Finals, which was a 98. We have been the Car of the Year as well, also every time besides 1992. Manager of the Year, Victor Quinones. It's wild that he keeps on winning that. So I figured there'd be a lot more better managers. Mike McGurk, though, still Announcer of the Year, 2 years running for her. Color commentator was Paul Heyman, which it's been Zabisco for the past couple of years, but it's back to Heyman, which makes a lot of sense, obviously. But yeah, as far as in the Referee of the Year was Nick Patrick, which is just hilarious because in real life he was pretty god-awful as a ref. But, yeah, I mean, as far as where we're at for the Power 500, I think everybody could probably assume how well we did. But yeah, Kaiji Muto, number 1. Taue, number 2. Masawa, 3. Kawada, 4. Kobashi, not 5. It's Ultimo Dragon. So it's crazy that Kobashi's at the bottom of the 4 pillars. But yeah, and then Chono, 7. Malenko, 8. Regal, 9. Benoit, 10. I'm waiting to see when someone from not UJPW shows up. There's Norman at 11, Kanemoto 12, Doc at 13, Liger 14, Phil LaFont. Oh, that's right. Now we have to change it off of UJPW because I think I see somebody at 16. It's Rick Rude. So Rick Rude being the first non-UJPW person, that makes sense. Yeah, I figured it'd be either him or Austin because Steve Austin has been incredible. You see, Cactus was the U.S. champion, but he, as far as Rick Rude won it back at Starrcade. That was nice that Cactus won for a couple of months as far as was the U.S. champion. Doug Furness, Super Astro at 18, 19 for Hase, Bret Hart at 20. That makes a lot of sense. Figured it'd be a little bit higher, honestly, but shout out Bret. Eddie at 21, Kensuke Sasaki at 22, Hayabusa at 23, Shinya Hashimoto at 24. That kind of makes sense. I figured he'd actually be a little bit higher. Like, I figured he'd be ahead of guys like Wild Pegasus and, as far as in Philafon, Doug Furness, and Super Astro. But it also makes sense. Kensuke being pretty high as well. That kind of shows you how great the tag team division is because you look at it like Dean and Chris, obviously, as a team. And then, obviously, Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro, the Can-Am Express, Hase, and Kensuke Sasaki. Like, these guys that have been teaming up. Have really paid off well as far as for the rankings. Good ending, though, at 25. 26 for Cactus. Wyndham at 27. El Samurai at 28. It's kind of crazy Barry Wyndham at 1998 is so high up. El Samurai, though, at 28. Maso Fuchi at 29. Ric Flair at 30. Hogan at 31. Sting at 32. Vader at 33. There's Steve Austin. I figured he'd be showing up sooner rather than later. Since, I mean, he has been, he's the U.S., or he's the WCW World Heavyweight Champion as of, when did he win that belt? Yeah, he beat Luger for it at Road Wild in August. So he's been the champion ever since. He's just been beating Barry Windham and Lex Luger throughout the reign. Bobby Eaton, though, at 35. Gordy at 36. Ultimate Warrior, there at 37. There's Headhunter B. Sure, Headhunter A is way down there, yeah, because he was injured for most of the year, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. It looks like, actually, I think Headhunter A worked more matches. That's kind of weird that Headhunter B is ahead of him. Sasuke at 39, Savage at 40. That kind of makes sense for 98. His knees had basically been shot by the time. Really, his last great kind of program was him and Page. So I guess that would make sense for him still being in the top 50, but he'll probably drop down sooner rather than later, probably. But it looks like he is the heavyweight champion right now, so that's kind of funny. As far as for 1998, you have WCW having Steve Austin as the WCW heavyweight champion. Then on the WWF side, it's Macho Man Randy Savage. John Yama at 41, Terry Funk 42, David Boy at 43. Look at Jacques Rougeau at 44. That's kind of impressive. The Mountie being up so high. Stan Hansen at 45, Nuki Sano 46, 47 for Shawn Michaels, 48 for Blue Panther. As Mike Awesome with 49. Yeah, Blue Panther's been killing in CMLL. Been killing. Wow, him and Kamala having a 77. Yeah, that's, let's say, I think that is OG Kamala. Yeah, that's not even like Super Kamala that we had at the beginning of the save. Wow, yeah, it's 47. Still working. Probably shouldn't be. But Mike Awesome at 49. Jonathan at 50. Would be sick to kind of bring him back, honestly. And to All Japan. Yeah, he's 77. We'll have to shortlist Jonathan. Because it's crazy, because you think he wouldn't... Like, it's crazy to think he's 34 in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s. That kind of shows you, just because, you know, as far as he's always looked like he's like 50 years old, from his Earthquake 1 all the way, you know, through when he was the Shark in his WCW run. And then when he was Golga, obviously, no one could kind of really tell because of the mask. But yeah, Ed Hunter. A. Atlantis, 52. Dr. Wagner Jr., 53. So nice to see the Luchadors now popping up. Johnny Smith at 54. Ron Simmons, 55. There's Taker at 56. Luger at 57. Brad Armstrong making it in the top 65 as far as 58. Kikuchi, 59. Vampiro at 60. Ray Trailer at 61. 62. Octagon El Connect for 63. Rick Martel, Jerry Sags, Big Titan making it in the top 100. Two Cold Scorpio, the Road Warriors at 68 and 69. Terry Taylor at 70. Brian Knobs, Nobika Takada. Our first, like, as far as UJPW Japanese talent. There at 72 at Nobika Takada. Laser at 73. That's why. Then Solar at 74. Ogawa 75. Dustin Rhodes 76. Jake Roberts 77. 78 for Funaki. Jericho at 79. That's crazy because, yeah, I don't think he's ranked 214 before we signed him. That's wild to think from July to December. You know, he was just working the ECC. Well, actually, no, he was working a lot sooner than that. When did we sign him? I thought we signed him only in 97. We must not have. Take a look here. Yeah, it was May 96. So, yeah, halfway through 96. That makes sense. At least why he made it in the top as far as 250 last year. Or, yeah, 250 last year. Wanda Wilkins Jr. at 80. Mike Rotundo somehow make it in the top 100. As Negro Casas 82. Masato Tanaka 83. Johnny Ace at 84. Suzuki there at 85. That'd be a great signing, though, to have Suzuki. Would rule. He'd be great as part of, like, the leader of, like, TTS. Do we have him shortlisted? We do. That's the one thing, though, about him as far as he's doing, like, the Pancrase fights right now, so he's not, like, really fully active compared to kind of elsewhere. But Dan Spivey, he's worked a lot for Wing compared to what we usually are doing here at UJPW, which is nice for him, I think, getting him, you know, booked around the up Pantera at 87, Silver King, 88. I cannot believe Nikita Koloff. It's weird that he's also being worked in WWF in 1998, but he's also, like, the Intercontinental Champion for a hot minute. Till Owen beat him. Volkan at 90. Paulo Dantis, 92. As then Hector Guerrero. I love winners at 93, though. Ricky Morton, 94. Hector Guerrero, 95. Chichoro Mendoza, 95. 96, rather. 97 for Yuki Ishikawa. Ricky Choshu somehow still making it in the top 100. I don't know how. Masagatsu Funaki, 99. And Preta Morgan at 100. So then we got Ken Shamrock, Candido, Sid Vicious, Dos Caras. There's Felino. There's Akira Maeda. Brazo de Oro. Random Marcus Jr. And Severin there. Steamboat. There's Conan and Arn Anderson. Yeah, we'll switch it now. I see Art Bars at like 127, or 135. Yeah, we'll make it to where now it's you JPW guys. Well, I mean, most of the roster's already been talked about. Yeah, we talked about Candido, Kazuya Yamasaki, Minoru Tanaka, 127, which sucks that his injury now is going to have him out for a good bit of 97, or 98 rather. Damien at 139. Osamu Nishimura with his only 18 matches, still ranked at 146. Satoshi Kojima obviously booked a whole lot more once. It's crazy. Like, he was kind of rarely booked until obviously we started him being a part of the New World Order, and his booking has went way up since then. Same thing for Tenzan. Shiro Kashinaka still making it at 174. OG Tiger Mask, of course, Satoru Sayama at 175. Taz 179. Psychosis 181. Bobby Fulton 190. George Takano 199. Takeo Mori 201. Figured it'd be a little bit higher, to be honest. Gama Singh at 202. That's kind of nuts. He has been working for BWFG. Good luck. Good job for him. Shinji Takano at 204. Super Strong Machine at 211. Scott Norton at 225. Yuji Nagata at 226. Tommy Rogers 236. George Hines, of course, Jackie Fulton at 240. Brad Rennigan's 241. That's shocking. Hideki Osaka 265. Satoru Osaka 296. 17 matches, all losses. Poor Hideki Osaka. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, at least Hideki Osaka's gotten some wins because he's working DDT, which is crazy now that DDT's around. So hopefully Satoru Osaka can get booked elsewhere, unless we have an exclusive deal. We do. We need to change that. He needs to be on a handshake deal so he gets better. Noriya Hanaga's been booked at UWF High, as far as looks like, for the most part, because we really haven't been booking him a whole lot. But he did have that 80 for us, is why he's probably ranked so high. Yeah, it was him and Hashimoto teaming up to take on Stan Hansen and Chris Jericho. That was January. About Honda 316, Otani 322. Shinichi Nakano, 324, Kiyoshi Demora, Dave Taylor making it. But he worked kind of elsewhere too, but mainly, I would say the UJPW stuff kind of helped him out a lot. But he had some good matches kind of in England, looks like. Danny Boy Collins and Dave Taylor, the English middleweight title match was 71. So yeah, he kind of, his best stuff was definitely there, besides his 84, with British Combat Club. What? No, where? Oh, there we go. I was about to say, he just listed them against Los Peruanos. Yeah, so that's why. Sasha Yawagi, thanks for being booked at Wing, probably is why he's ranked so high. Takayama, same thing. He's kind of worked indies, and him at DDT is pretty hilarious as well. Teo Kia, 368, or 388, rather. Zuka, 391. Kyoaki Kobayashi at 398. I'm surprised Ishii somehow made it. Masaki Machizuki at 405. And the returning Bam Bam Bigelow, he has fallen from grace. But hopefully this will kind of jumpstart him back around. I don't know, though. He's, just from what we've seen pre-booking this tour, he is going to struggle. I think he's going to struggle for sure. Manabu Nakanishi, though, 475. And then Black Cat, still getting booked as an active wrestler in UWFI. So that's cool to see. But, yeah, shout out Black Cat. But, yeah, so the tour, as far as the final show, looks like this. As then we have, as far as that big-ass cage match that's happening on night one. Also, the All-Asia Heavyweight title matchup with Super Astro and Big Van Vader. And the Million in Battle Royal happening on night one. So that's obviously going to be one of the bigger tour shows that we'll ever have throughout the schedule. So that's going to be big to start off with a bang like that. We're also going to have a Holy Demon Army New World Order 8-man, I believe that's for night 4. Night 9's going to have UJPW Unified Junior Heavyweight title matchup as well. Pegasus taking on Ultimo Dragon. That should be huge. And then we'll have New World Order versus Shinya Hashimoto, Ultimo Dragon, and Super Astro for night 12. So this is, I believe, 14 nights, and then the 15th night is the final show. It might actually be 12 tour shows and 13 being the final show. I believe that actually might be it, the more I'm thinking about it, because that seems like that's like the final, like kind of like headliner going into the final match. But you see here, UJPW World Tag Team title matchup is the main event. Holy Demon Army versus Masao and Kobashi. Super Generation Army, Holy Demon Army main eventing. I just feel like that makes the most sense there. Because not only is Hashimoto Kaijimuto, it's tough because that's a great story, obviously, with what New World Order and the turn and all that, which that's been great. But I think long term, that's the better story, and also think that's going to be the better match. So we're kind of hedging our bets with that being the main event. But yeah, the co-main, you're seeing that Hashimoto's going to win the Battle Royal, so he'll get the title shot against Kaiji Muto. And you see Kaiji Muto's going to win. He's going to beat, Ultimo Dragon at the cage match for night one. But that's going to be a big time match as well, because you're going to see as far as all that taking place on that show. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Then a junior heavyweight title matchup, Great Sasuke, Ultimo Dragon, the rematch. Makes sense to do this, I think. Also, you'll see why that's definitely taking place once we run night one. But yeah, this is going to be a banger to see in the return matchup. Can Sasuke somehow win again and beat the Ultimo Dragon and be a two-time junior heavyweight champion, or Ultimo Dragon continue his reign, because he's obviously going to have the one defense against Wild Pegasus. In All Asia, tag team title matchups, K-Nine Express versus Hiroshi Ase and Kinsuke Sasaki. That should be a banger. All Asia heavyweight title matchup, Stan Hansen and Big Van Vader. Love that match. Anytime I get to see Vader and Hansen, that's going to rule. Junior heavyweight tag team title matchup as Masato Fuchi and Yoshino Nagawa of the Holy Demon Army taking on El Samurai and Jushin Liger. And then we're also going to have a Blonde Squad New World Order 8-man, which that's basically going to be Spivey. That's going to be Johnny Ace. That's going to be Candido and Jericho against Bam Bam Bigelow. So now returning Bam Bam's going to be part of the New World Order. He's going to help eliminate Johnny Ace. He's basically the turn and the big return as far as joining the New World Order, attacking Johnny Ace. And it's going to be like Bam Bam, Awesome, Tenkoji, I want to say. It's that 8-man. Then British Combat Club against Super Generation Army. I believe that's going to be Jun Akiyama, Takeo Omori, Koji Kanemoto, and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi against the British Combat Club, which obviously it's going to be as far as, Smiley and Regal and Johnny Smith, and also Dave Taylor as well for that. But I think it's going to be a great card. We haven't had like a bad card in a long ass time, so definitely, assuming it won't be bad, but definitely with that main event, should be a banger. And yeah, we will go on to night one here. Waste no more time. Let's get right into it. Fucking Roland Alexander, Beyond the Mat legend, as we got this is a lesser show, so we get to pick as far as what this will be as far as showing on commercial television, so that's gonna be fun. It's backstage incidents, Doug Williams, and entertain the locker room by organizing a poker tournament. So everything's pre-booked, ready to go. We're locked in, so that's fun. But yeah, the main event last year was a tag team title matchup, so to have a cage match this time around, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As yes, we'll be running El Tokyo Dome for this one. Alrighty, so yeah, we'll go ahead and add the main event on there as far as Ultimo Dragon, the Great Muta cage match, classic cage match. Winner pinfall submission. So we saw the Baba banned everyone from the NWO from interfering, and also was just kind of like, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen with the cage. But he didn't suspect a crazy motherfucker in the Great Sasuke climbing up the cage and jumping off it, hitting a moonsault on Ultimo Dragon and the Great Muta down below. Now, the reason why he hits it on both guys is because, obviously, I don't want one guy having to catch, as far as Ultimo Dragon, I don't want him being the one base for a moonsault all the way to the, as far as that's a big-ass moonsault from the top of the cage down onto the ring onto one person. I think that's a lot. So to have kind of like them brawling and then looking up and seeing a diving Sasuke hitting a moonsault on him, and it would just be a great visual. It hits the ref too, like it just kind of knocks out everybody that's in the ring. Just feel like that'd be a great angle. But Muta gets the win nonetheless. Afterwards, he overcomes it all. But also, you see in the post-show press conference that as far as they have vetoed the cage match. I did not suspect that. Holy shit, Nippon TV. As, well, damn. Oh my god, a bungee cord match. Oh my god, they, that is nuts. Catch a sketch can. 5-minute challenge. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything that really works with what we want to do with that, so I guess we'll just have it be a normal-ass match. But yeah, it's still the same angle, because again, the whole idea was Baba basically banning the NWO from interfering. So that way, as far as just kind of the loophole afterwards, as we'll talk about with the post show. As far as the Great Muta embraces the Great Sasuke and just kind of outsmarting him and saying, well, you said that the NWO is banned, but not somebody outside the NWO is banned. In that he says that, sure, tonight he's not an NWO member, rather, Jesus, he's not an NWO member, but he is going to be a part of the New World Order in the next day, so type of thing. So it's kind of a little loophole that he figured out for Kaiji Muto. But as far as that's going to be a lot of. But Sasuke's going to do that promo because, Muta is. Well, no, I mean, he could still cut the. As far as that. With. Because it's not like that Great Muta character doesn't, like, speak or anything, because he has done that before. But yeah, that's. Races Sasuke. And I'll say, reveals the plan. The plan. But yeah, so Sasuke and Too Cold Scorpio joining the NWO. I mean, my God, it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. But I think they needed some junior guys, mainly as well, is why that's happening as well. Then we have, we'll go with the Battle Royal next, which, will be Shinya Hashimoto. So the final four will be, as far as Koji Kanemoto, Johnny Ace, Terry Funk, and Shinya Hashimoto. But seeing the interference from Bam Bam Bigelow, eliminating Johnny Ace. Kind of Johnny Ace, it looks like, he's seen a ghost, kind of starts pointing and talking to Bigelow. It's like, why are you out here? And Bigelow, like, grabs his arms, does the whole, Sid Vicious, Hulk Hogan elimination spot from the Rumble. And it's, that's just, as far as, it's a little corny, but it's fun nonetheless, though, to see that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun Final Four, and I think having, obviously, Hashimoto being now the new number one contender after winning the Million Yen Battle Royal. Obviously the story there makes sense. Super Vader. Which he was Super Vader, if I remember. That's what we used him as. I think we actually did that in the first save. Now I'm thinking about it. Hold on here. Now I gotta harken back. I think that's what we did. Yeah, I think we had him be Super Vader then, but he was... At UJPW, we had him be Big Van Vader. Yes, that was, in fact, what we did. I thought so. Yeah, because he really only had, like, a short time here. As far as him and Too Cold Scorpio were teaming up, and then WCW came calling after Battleground, and that was pretty much it for him. So, yeah, but that's going to be fun, though, to see Vader beat Super Astro. Obviously, a tall task for Super Astro, but that should be a good match, though, nonetheless. So now we'll go with the Blonde Bombers against Eddie and Wild Pegasus. That's a hell of a match, though, as far as Eddie's going to beat Chris Candido in 20 minutes. Then we have British Combat Club versus Los Pavano. 6-man tag, Dave Taylor. There with Steven Regal, Norm Smiley against the Headhunters and Damien. Dave Taylor's going to beat Damien there. Jun Akiyama, KO against the Miracle Vines Alliance with Albright and Doc. So this should be a little bit higher, actually. As Albright is going to be beating Takeo Mori. So yeah, we're still struggling with Albright being rusty. Yeah, we'll bump that up. Yeah, we'll put it there. I think that's a good spot for it. Then the Fantastics against Ten Koji. Ten Koji's going to get the win, steal the show matchup. Kojima's going to get the win over the Fantastics. And then Yuji Nagata going to be beating Doug Williams in the opener. Obviously, a young lion. Well, not technically a young lion. Technically, he's young. He's got 4 years of experience. But a baby Doug Williams, if you will, losing to Yuji Nagata. Just kind of makes sense from that perspective. But yeah, that is the card. Love it. Absolutely love it. As the great... Oh, let's see. As Great Buddha. And the Great Sasuke embrace and reveal the plan. Nice. Alrighty, so yeah, we can run the show. 59 for the Yuji Nagata with the inverted figure 4 over Doug Williams. Doug was off his game, so he gets a 34. That's pretty bad, but Yuji Nagata there to kind of wrangle that match in. is the Fantastics losing to Tenkoji, set out spinebuster from Satoshi Kojima. Pretty good stuff. Bobby Fulton was the best guy in the match. Shout out Bobby Fulton, but worst guy being Jackie Fulton. Could have won either way with those ratings. And 88. Wow, as what a match. British Combat Club and the Headhunters, and obviously Damien as Los Pavano. As Dave Taylor with the bridging fallaway slam. He gets outperformed by Damien, but obviously with Regal and Smiley's performance, some good shit there. That is yeah, you cannot beat that. But somehow it's a 92 here the following match. But I figured this match would be really good, but also in the sense of like if this happened like in real life at this time in 1998, maybe not in this mod, not so much, but because Jericho the 67, 77 for Candido, and the 87, 85 from Eddie and Chris. But yeah, Eddie with the brainbuster over Chris Candido in 1936, not bad at all. 83 for Jun Akiyama and Takeo Mori against Steve Williams and Gary Albright. That's crazy. The Doc with 100, Albright with a 55. Tired towards the end, still rusty as well, I'm sure. So we'll take a look. Let's see where. Oh, gotta keep on going. Yeah, still rusty. But that's okay though. He's getting back into it. As a Super Astro losing the Big Van Vader, the Vader Bomb, squashing him with that Vader Bomb, and making his first defense of the All Asia Heavyweight titles. Big night for the NWO, retaining their titles as well. But yeah, then we're seeing Shinya Shimoda winning the Battle Royal. Surprised that was probably one of the best Battle Royals we've had. Which is kind of wild, because you kind of see the lineup. It's like, there's not really the biggest of names here. Sure, there's like Koji Kanemoto and Manabu Nakanishi's in there, but then you got like Johnny Smith's in there. Terry Funk at least being in there helps it out a little bit, but not the biggest of names, but still delivers. In 100, how about that? As what a match and what a win. As we still get the Sasuke moonsault onto both of them. It sucks that we don't get the visual of him doing it from the top of the cage. Maybe he'll climb a ladder, bring a ladder out, and be like, what the fuck is this crazy man doing? And he hits a moonsault at everybody in the ring. But 100, though, that is awesome. That is going to be tough to top. Especially, like, technically it wasn't a tour show, it was a lesser show. But to have 100 is pretty awesome. That is our second ever 100 as well. Both involving Kaiji Muto, though, funny enough. But yeah, what a match. What a show. And now we build. Now we build towards the New Year Giant Series final show. We get to see, now Holy Demon Army, as well as, combating with the NWO, but combating with the Super Generation Army as well. So they have quite a busy tour upon them. And now we get to see, as far as Too Cold Scorpio and the Great Sasuke being a part of the New World Order as well. So adding some more elements to the New World Order. They probably have double-digit amount of members now, which is pretty hilarious, but that is very New World Order on brand. They got 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, they got 10. Right at 10. My God. But yeah, on to Night 2 we go. Alrighty, Night 2. As, of course, we want to be in a venue. I don't know why they keep on running Shugoku, but we are definitely not going to run there. Yeah, I mean, we could run the Nagata City Gymnasium. I guess that's not a terrible idea. Yeah, for Night 2. So the main events, we got, what would have been, so New World Order, Holy Demon Army, 6-man. I think that makes sense as far as, with Kaiji Muto, Great Sasuke, Too Cold Scorpio, and Tashimoto, Masufuchi, and, Yoshinari Gawa. Fuchi's going to be Too Cold Scorpio, so it's kind of weird that they're going to lose as far as the first time teaming up, being, as far as the newest members of the New World Order, but I just feel like that's the right call, to be honest. But they also have a Super Generation Army, Holy Demon Army. This could probably be the main event as well. I think this will be the main event, as Koji Kanemoto is going to beat Masato Tanaka. I just feel like that's going to be the better match. But yeah, major 6-man matches. Then the co-main event could be this. Stan Ace and Johnny Ace against the New World Order. Big Van Vader, Bam Bam Bigelow. That's a fun match there, as Bam Bam's going to beat Johnny Ace in 20 minutes. So yeah, Bam Bam's going to struggle. We'll see how he does performance-wise. I'm hoping he's at least like above a 50. I know it's really setting the bar low, but I just don't have any confidence in that match at all. But the Psychosis and Vampiro against Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki, that's a good little matchup here. Psychosis is going to get the win over Jinsei Shinzaki. That was this. I'll say we've done some 6-man matches and 8-man matches, but never done a straight-up 2v2. That's going to be nice. Then Tactical Technician Squad against Wild Pegasus, Steve Malenko, and Eddie Guerrero. But yeah, Eddie's going to get the win 17 minutes. We probably could have had this match. Oh, that's right. Minoru Tanaka is hurt, so we gotta make sure he's out of that match. We'll make sure that's Shinjiro Otani. There we go. Easy fix. Still TTS. Just slightly different. Then the Kano brothers against Manabu Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama. Just gonna see if Takayama and Manabu Nakanishi could be a pretty good little team here, as they're gonna get the win though over the Kano brothers. Manabu Nakanishi gonna beat George Takano. Actually, yeah, I mean George, I mean he's furious, but from what I remember, let's see. Yeah, this the tag league match. Yeah, I mean at 56, I mean that's not great, but like, yeah, I think that's the right call still. We'll see. We'll see. And then we'll have Kikuchi Doug Williams go here. And the returning, Kiyoshi Tamura, gonna be beating Machizuki. So straight an actual, young lion matchup for Machizuki there. Oh yeah, I mean I think it's gonna be a pretty solid show. Obviously, it's not gonna top night one, but night one was a whole nother ball game. It's Kiyoshi Tamura though, and Machizuki do have great chemistry as the Juji Katame for Kiyoshi Tamura, getting the win in 9:54. It's not bad. Not bad at all. 69 here for Kikuchi and Doug Williams. They also have great chemistry. How about that? We really lucked out there. As Kikuchi with the submission in 10-17. 65. Oh, they do have excellent chemistry. How about that? Manabu Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama. I think we're going to go with, what was that? Wild? What that was called? I'm trying to think of what that, I think that was. No, now I'm thinking, because no, Wild was, shit, yeah, the Wild was not Takayama. That was with oh man, I don't know why I'm blanking on who Wild was. Because I think it was Wild, because there's two different Wilds. There's Wild and there's Wild 2. But I'm pretty sure Wild 2 was more Shima. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep it rolling. Blanking, having a blank as Eddie Guerrero and Wild Pegasus D. Malenko beating Tactical Tactician Squad as Eddie pinning Tomonanda with the Brainbuster. The 84s for Eddie and D. Malenko, 82 for Wild Pegasus. Obviously, it's a much better team there, so that makes sense. 78 for Hayabusa and Jinsei Shizaki against Vampiro and Psychosis. Oh, the better team loses here, but it was a solid little matchup, though. Psychosis getting the win in 1740. It's not bad at all. 79. Yeah, I mean, it was a 55 for Bam Bam. So he did just barely above what I hoped he could do. Yeah, I mean, obviously at 98, in real life, he's just now joined WCW. Around this time, he's in WCW for like a year. If that. Really, he's kind of more towards 99. It's kind of more he's kind of more of like 1999 more than 98 in WCW. But then basically, once the decade turns, he doesn't get picked up, after WCW closes, and he just kind of works the indies until his untimely passing, unfortunately, which was only like, was that 2005, 2007, I want to say, around that time. It's relatively short, but it's just unfortunate there. But as far as Bam Bam, either way, with the Greens from Asbury Park, it's awesome to see Bam Bam and Vader teaming up here. Then the co-main event, it's an 89. It's Tuko Scorpio, the Great Sasuke, and Kaiji Miro against Yoshino Aragawa, Masano Fuchi, and Shinya Hashimoto as, Masano Fuchi pinning Tuko Scorpio the backdrop suplex. Nice little win there. So Fuchi does still have that cracked tailbone, and she'll probably work throughout the tournament with that, or the tour with that. But he still should be good to go once the actual final show comes along. And then Koji Ginomoto tabbing out Masato Tanaka with the Koji clutch. Slightly worse than the co-main, so probably should have went with that as the main. But everybody did really well. But Masato Tanaka with a 61, just unfortunate there. But I'm excited to see that Super Generation Army Holy Demon Army matchup. That is for sure. That shall be a banger. It's like 85. I think we're gonna have Kobashi grow back, as far as have the facial hair. Because he was having the kind of dark facial hair around this time anyways. So we'll have to change his picture, update it. And so so far, so good for the tournament. Oh my god, I did it again. So far, so good for the tour. First 2 nights in. And we just have 10 more nights as far as from the tour show perspectives. And then we'll be on to the final show. So on to night 3 we go. Alright, so it literally hit me right after I recorded. The team I was thinking of is Wild Child, which was Nakanishi and Takeo Mori. And then Wild 2, of course, is Morishima and Takeshi Rikito. Brutal. Brutal. Well, we got it. And the team of Nakanishi and Takayama is going to be called Wild and Ready. I think that's a fun little kind of play off of what Wild was. And no fear, as far as, of course, with Takeo Mori as well. We'll probably stop doing that team, and it just kind of makes sense for everybody involved. But yeah, backstage incident here. It's Taue passing on selling tips to Masato Tanaka. As let's see here, what we got for this main event. We have a Baba appearance. That's great. Boy, there's really not like a main event match. I guess you could say it's potentially. Let's see what this Blonde Squad New World Order matchup is. So Hanson, Spivey, Johnny Ace against Vader, Bam Bam, and Mike Awesome. So Vader's going to beat Spivey there in 20 minutes. We will change the Titanic powers rather against Mike Awesome and Yuji Nagata. So we'll have that be now. We'll go with the team of Wild and Ready of Manabu Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama. Sick. But yeah, we'll have Big Titan get the win now. Doesn't matter who loses. There we go. Miracle Bonds Connection Headhunters. So that's obviously Gordy and Steve Williams against the Headhunters. Headhunters are going to get the win. It's Terry Gordy losing to Headhunter A. Bump that up. I actually kind of feel like that's going to be better than that. So we got British Combat Club against Tsuyoshi Kuchi and Koji Kanemaru. I mean, this is probably a solid matchup. This is the first time meeting, too. So that's fun. Norman Swine's going to get the win in 20 minutes. I have a lot more faith in that than on the American Bonds Connection Headhunters match, honestly, so we'll bump that way up. Can-Am India Express against the Fighting World Choshu. Shiro Kashinaka beating the Great Gama there. Boy, this is a pretty brutal card compared to what we have been booking up to this point. Baba with Samurai Liger against Fuchi, Tanaka, and Yoshinori Gawa. 10-minute matchup as Baba's going to struggle. And that matchup, that is hilarious. Then we'll have Golden King versus Teo Kia, which Golden King obviously going to get the win. Then Albright over Ishii to kick off the show. That might be terrible. Gary Albright can't even work a 10-minute match now. Our roster is in a bit of a downward spiral as far as the guys that we helped in the mid-90s, early 90s. And now time has been very poor to them. I think with their size as well. A lot of them getting older too. Like obviously Bam Bam, has been wrestling literally for 10 years at that point. And in real life, he kind of falls back. It sucks that Albright, unfortunately, he passes away 2 years later. Yeah, I want to say it's 2001 he passes, unfortunately. So it just kind of sucks that these guys are declining physically when in real life, I wouldn't say Albright was declining physically. I felt like he'd still go, but it's just not the same level I think he was. Obviously in the early, mid-90s. But yeah, I mean, that's our card. It's a bit of an unorthodox one compared to what we just have been booking, but I still think it should be an okay little show. We should probably run, though as I say that, should probably run the Sendai Sun Plaza. That way I know it's going to be a sellout and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So 46 for the opener, yep. That's bad. Dragon Suplex hold from Albright over Ishii. It sucks because this match would have ruled if both in their prime, they're just not. Golden King being Teo Kia with a golden kick at 9:52. 76 for Liger, El Samurai, and Baba against Ogawa, Masato Tanaka, and Mitsufuchi. This was just to give Baba out there like a match, but also to help give Masato Tanaka a win as well. It's a little six-man though, even with Baba's appearance. That's kind of hilarious. 64 for Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama against the Titanic Powers. I don't know why I want to keep on calling the Dynamic Powers, but the Titanic Powers. Getting with the Exploder with Big Titan over Yoshihiro Takayama there. Fun little match. Right team wins, though. 78 for the Great Gama. Dan Croft and Duck Furnace against the Fighting World Choshu. Fighting World Choshu gets the win as the Great Gama gets pinned by Shiro Kashinaka in 10 minutes. 76 for the Blonde Squad against the New World Order. Big Van Vader pinning Dan Spivey with the Vader Bomb. Nice little win there. And New World Order picking up the big win. Yes, yeah, I mean, just the colossal powerhouse that is Vader, Bigelow, and Mike Awesome rules so hard. I mean, they were the better team, the Blonde Squad, so I will give them that, but I think that was the right call. 79 here for the Mercilon's connection against the Headhunters. Diving leg drop from the Headhunters over Terry Gordy there as Headhunter A pinning Terry Gordy. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously Doc, best guy in the match by far, but I think that was the right call to have the Headhunters win. And then the British Combat Club beating Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Koji Kanemoto as Norman Conquest over Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. Great main event. We'll take that. I think that's kind of what the tour normally. I think that could be a great little throwaway tour show, especially with so many days on this tour. It's nice to kind of have some main events and co-mains where it's guys that are not on the final card. Gives those guys that are on the main card a break, and also spices up a little bit. So that's not bad at all. It turned into a pretty solid show too, so I can't really take anything away from that. It's on to night 4. Alrighty, night 4, as we'll see what the main event for this show will be. So we have the junior tag team matchup that's happening on the final show. In a singles matchup, so Liger, Ogawa, Fuchi, El Samurai. Also have the Holy Demon Army versus the New World Order on this show. There's Sasuke and Tuco Scorpio against Ultima Dragon and Super Astro as well. Pretty solid show, I think, as far as on paper. So yeah, Hashimoto with Kawada and Taue against the New World Order. Taue's going to beat Mike Awesome. I think that's a great win. I think that's a really good win. We should probably have, now I'm thinking about it, instead of Mike Awesome there, that should probably be Masahiro Chono. So we'll go ahead and do that. As we'll have Taue beat Chono as well. Yeah, good call. Good call. There, that's alright. Yeah, then we'll go with Sasuke, Tuco Scorpio, Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro. Sasuke's gonna beat Super Astro, so there is kind of building towards the junior heavyweight title matchup. Then we'll have Liger Ogawa, which Liger's gonna get a win with the Steal the Show matchup, and I want to say they don't have any chemistry, so I think that's why that's a Steal the Show matchup. So we'll probably have Fuchi and El Samurai above that, as Fuchi's gonna beat El Samurai, so obviously they're gonna split those singles matches. Then we'll have Dean and Eddie against Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki. Dean's going to beat Shinzaki. British Combat Club against Los Pravano. Steven Regal going to be getting the win there. It's tough because obviously like Vampiro and Regal, they're going to be the best guys in the match, but I think Los Pravano's going to be the better team, but we'll stick with it. And then we'll have, we got Tenkoji against Wild and Ready of Manabu Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama. Kojima's going to beat Manabu Nakanishi in 10 minutes, and then Izuka beating Makabe to open up the show. I think it's a pretty solid show. Obviously, it's very top-heavy, but I think that Tenkoji Wild and Ready matchup, it should go pretty well. As yeah, Fuchi still has that cracked tailbone, but other than that, we're pretty straight and on brand for a pretty solid show. Should be, at least. So yeah, we'll run the star lanes. We'll get rocking and rolling here with night 4. So 47 for the opener. That's pretty bad. Suzuka with the blockbuster hold. I'm not sure what happened with Suzuka there, because usually he's pretty solid. But yeah, that was brutal. Brutal. 64, though, for Nakanishi and Yoshihiro Takayama against Tenzan and Kojima. It's the Koji Cutter for Satoshi Kojima over Manabu Nakanishi at 9:43. Not bad at all. It's crazy with their excellent chemistry. It's still like they're not even like a great team. But a 70 though for British Combat Club against Los Pravano. It's Regal pinning Psychosis with the Regal Plex. Yeah, Steven Regal, best guy in the match. Right call. Regal and Vampiro off their games. This has been a terrible show. Hopefully we get rocking and rolling here. As Dean and Eddie beating Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa's. Dean with the Texas Clover Leaf over Jinsei Shinzaki in 18 minutes. A 78 here. Yeah, Liger and Ogawa do not have good chemistry. So I'm glad we put this at kind of the midway point of the card, but it got the crowd hotter, though. Or it got the crowd buzzing, rather. But Liger with the Brainbuster. It's a nice win. And the next matchup, it's an 80. It's Fuchi beating El Samurai with the SDF, even with the cracked tailbone. Still doing a good job there as Fuchi. It's awesome to see. An 81. Oh, and Sasuke breaks his nose in this matchup. It's Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro beating the Great Sasuke 2 Cold Scorpio team. It's Michinoku Driver from Sasuke in 20 minutes over Super Astro. It's a fun match. Just sucks with the broken nose. It probably hurt the match a little bit, but the main event, though, is a 94. Taue pinning Chono. Glad we put Chono in there instead of Mike Awesome, but yeah, what a match. Pretty on brand. The right team wins, but that is a hell of a 6-man. Got the crowd hotter, too. Yeah, can't beat that. Cannot beat that at all. Cannot wait for Hashimoto Kaijimuto. Cannot wait for also Tower and Quad against Masawa and Kobashi. That's going to be quite the matchups. As yeah, on to night 5 we go. Alrighty, night 5. As they still have the generic venue in Osaka, but that's okay. Because we'll just pick a venue here. So we can either go halfway, which I don't mind, or we can just, sell out the Wakayama Prefectural Gym and call it a day. I think we just will. I think we'll just call it a day there and let them sell it out. Be no problem. So the main event here, so we also have the Can-Am Express taking on Hiroshi Ase and Kensuke Sasaki in singles matches, but I think the main event should be Hashimoto and Hansen against Muta and Big Van Vader. As, that's going to be awesome, but we're going to see Stan Hansen turn on Hashimoto, just kind of leave him high and dry. Mainly, what turns into this is, I think that's a little too... Maybe some miscommunication. No, how about this? So they're gonna both Vader and Hansen. They're gonna be battling on the outside. They're gonna go up the into this crowd, up the ramp. They're gonna go all over the place. So it turns into basically a one-on-one matchup, and they're gonna see interference. As let's have Hashimoto. Yeah, let's have Chono interfere. Take him out. I like that. That makes a little bit more sense than just having Stan Hansen just kind of leave him high and dry. But yeah, Kaishimoto. Hashimoto. Perfect. There we go. Nice little change of pace there. It's a little bit different. As far as what's going to be the better match between the two, I think Hase Dan Crawford's going to be the better of the two, but Crawford's going to beat him in the first match, which will mean Kensuke is going to beat Doug Furnace. This matchup, so we have Bigelow and Nagata against Blonde Crushers of Johnny Ace and Chris Candido. Candido's going to beat Yuji Nagata. It's a fun little team, though. Bam Bam Yuji Nagata. Candido beating Yuji Nagata. That should be a fun little matchup. The British Blue Bloods. So that's Regal and Dave Taylor against Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Koji Kanemoto. Steal the show matchup as Dave Taylor's going to lose to Koji Kanemoto there, obviously. You got Sasuke and Two Cold Scorpio against Shudo, as Two Cold Scorpio is going to beat Satoya Sayama. Nice little win there for New World Order again, as Jun Nakama, Takeo Omori against Riki Choshu and Tomoe Ishii. So Choshu, we're not going to, again, we talked about him not getting re-signed, so this will basically be his probably last tour with us. We're going to have him lose here to Takeo Omori. Then the Fantastics against Los Bravano, as Vampiro is going to be beating whichever of the Fantastics there. As, 2 minutes we have to cut off. So it's weird. There's really not like a full-on... I guess this should probably be the opener, now thinking about it. Let's cut down this to 16. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. But yeah, I think it's a pretty solid card without having like any Young Lion matches in the opener. I guess Ishii and Choshu is the closest thing to that. Well, Ishii being the closest thing to that, obviously. But yeah, I think it should be a pretty solid show. See how it runs. A 66 for the opener. Junakiyama Kiyomori beating Ishii and Choshu. Choshu's getting, somehow, he's not even, a 42 is not bad. That actually could have been a lot worse. But the Kiyomori, though, with the back-to-belly pile driver, beating Riki Choshu at 942. 74 for Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers against Vampiro in Psychosis. So Vampiro beating Bobby Fulton in 1812. That's not bad. Not bad for Vampiro. As they were the worst team, though. Fantastics were the better team. Probably should have got the win there, but nonetheless, as Sasuke and Two Cold Scorpio beating Shudo, a Scorpio splash from Two Cold Scorpio over Sayama. Obviously, Sasuke with a broken nose. Performing through it. Mainly, this would be mainly Two Cold Scorpio, so we don't have to worry about Sasuke re-injuring or further damaging his nose. Then Regal and Dave Taylor losing to Koji Kanemoto and Satoshi Kikuchi. They do have great chemistry, which I figured, with Regal and Dave Taylor. But the moonsault from Koji Kanemoto over Dave Taylor in 10:30. That's not a bad match, obviously, but obviously they were the better team, and Kikuchi and Kanemoto got the crowd buzzing too, so that's nice. Bigelow and Yuji Nagata losing to Candido and Johnny Ace. So yeah, Candido, Johnny Ace, the much better team. Blonde Bombshell from Candido over Yuji Nagata. It's the right call. It's crazy Candido's the best guy in the match there. So an 84 for Kensuke and Doug Furnace. A Stranglehold Gama for Kensuke, 1935. And an 85 for Hiroshi Hase and Dan Crawford, as Dan Crawford's Cobra Clutch in 2027. Hase was off his game, so it could have been a little bit better. But it's no big deal. And a 93 for a main event. It's Hansen Hashimoto losing to Big Van Vader and Kaiji Muto. It's the interference there from Chono. Yakuza kick into, as far as Kaiji Muto. We'll go with Yeah, we'll go with the Shining Wizard. Oh no, he hasn't. No, he's been hitting the Shining Wizard. Never mind. I was thinking he had, but no, he's been hitting the Shining Wizard at this time. As far as in this save in this world, but yeah, I think that'll probably be a great little finish. Yakuza kick, Shining Wizard into the Muda lock for good measure type of thing. Kind of like the overkill finish. But yeah, Stannis was really off his game as well, but it's still a solid matchup. Solid stuff there. Yeah, 91. We'll take it. That is not bad at all. As on to Night 6 we go. Alrighty, Night 6, I got us in the Star Lanes again. I will probably run Kanto here. I think that's probably a good call. Obviously, we just ran the Tokyo Dome rather as far as a couple of nights back, but I think it's been enough time that we can run like the Komazawa Gymnasium and it'd be fine. As the main event, so we have quite the main event. Hashimoto and Taue against Chono and Muto, as Chono going to be beating Taue here in 20 minutes. It's not bad. Actually, let's change it up. Tough Hashimoto beat Chono. A little win back after what Hashimoto losing because of Chono's interference. I like it. Like it a lot. Okay, and then the Kome. So we got Holy Demon Army, which is an 8-man matchup. Holy Demon Army of Kawada, Masato Tanaka, Masano Fuchi, and Ogawa against Kenta Kobashi, Steel Kikuchi, Jushin Liger, and El Samurai, obviously taking the junior tag team title matchup, and then also having Kobashi and Kawada in there as well, and then also having a fresh little wrinkle in Masato Tanaka and Steel Kikuchi, which Tanaka's going to beat Kikuchi. That's a big win for Masato Tanaka. Miracle Vines Alliance against British Combat Club, the 6-man tag. Johnny Smith's going to beat Terry Gordy there. Docs, the agent, will have that just be Choshu. That's fine. At least Gary Albright can somehow work that match. His stamina's like terrible. It's like in the 30s now. It's like a 39 or 41, something like that. It is brutal. But Eddie Guerrero, Wild Pegasus, Indy Malenko against the Ultimate Cosmic Kings as Wild Pegasus. Beating Ultimate Dragon. This is what leads to the Junior Heavyweight title matchup. Is that 6-man. And that victory there. So I think Dave Taylor, Doug Williams against Brad Armstrong and Terry Funk should go here. Brad Armstrong's going to beat Dave Taylor there in 10 minutes. Bravano against Hideki Ozako. Hideki Ozaka, Satoru Ozako, and Akatoshi Saito's Headhunter A will be getting the win there. Actually, let's bump that up. Yeah, nice little switch there. Then the Young Lion matchups as Kashinaka against Mama Yone, as Kashinaka's going to beat Mama Yone, and then Shinichi Funaki against Masazuki Shinichi Funaki getting the win there in 10 minutes. As, we got, I think it should be a pretty solid show. We do a Steelers Charlotte matchup. So I think, probably should be this, I guess. It's probably the best case scenario. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see how this show plays out, actually. I think the main's going to go well. I think that co-main's going to go well. We'll see how the British Combat Club, American Violence Alliance 6-man's going to go well. And then, obviously, the Eddie, Wild Pegasus, Dean Malenko, Ultimate Cosmic Kings matchup should be a banger as well. The 61 for the opener, though, is Shinichi Funaki beating Machizuki with the Sean capture 949 there. So 56 for Shiro Kashinaka and Mama Yone. Kashinaka getting the submission win in 10:23. 72 for Terry Funk and Brad Armstrong against Dave Taylor and Doug Williams. I mean, Dave Taylor's getting better. It's getting better. Doug Williams still got a ways to go, but Brad's doing pretty good for himself, if I do say so myself. A 78 there for Los Bravano against Ozaka, Satoru Sako, and then Akatoshi Saito. Got the crowd buzzing, though, as Headhunter A with the diving leg drop over Hideki Ozaka in 10:16. A 95 for the 6-man of the Malenko Wildpex. Eddie Guerrero against the Ultimate Cosmic Kings. Their Golden King was the worst guy in the match, but the best guy in the match takes the fall, as Wild Pegasus is pitting Ultimate Dragon with the Ultimate Bomb, with the Wild Bomb, rather, in 20 minutes. So 85 for this 6-man, the British Combat Club against American Violence Alliance, is Johnny Smith, pinning Terry Gordy with a Death Valley Bomb. As, if we would just, create, a Dragon Gate-esque, junior promotion at this time, just, made, a Splinter promotion, it would probably do better than our, heavyweight talent that we have. You would imagine having Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Wild Pegasus, Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro, Hayabusa, having Sasuke, having, all these great juniors under one promotion. You'd have, one of the best promotions in the world. be nuts. At 82, though, for the 8-man of Holy Demon Army against Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, Kenta Kobashi, El Samurai, and Jushin Liger, as Masato Tanaka pinning Tsuyoshi Kikuchi with the Tornado DDT. I think the finish kind of hurt this match a little bit, giving Tanaka that win. It's probably a bad idea, but we're trying to elevate Masato Tanaka. But yeah, I mean, it's not a little matchup. Just, I think the wrong team probably won, looking at that. With Kobashi and Liger being on the other team. Then on 96, though, for Kaishimoto and Masahiro Chono against Shinya Hashimoto and Akira Taue. It's a jumping spike DDT from Hashimoto over Chono. Love it. Absolutely love that. So 94 for the main event as well. Or for the 96 for the main event, 94 for the overall show. Probably could have that be the co-main, and we would have had quite a show. But, yeah, solid. Solid little stuff there. I think we know what our strengths are, obviously, so many years in the save, and we can pull out a great match when we need it. But the big thing really for us is, I think, with our tour shows is kind of showcasing more the other talent that are not mainly on the main shows. That should be what we should be doing going forward, and kind of saying, like, all right, we know our tour shows, they can be solid, but we know we're not going to do anything crazy, so why not we have, like, actual Young Lion versus Young Lion matches on the openers? Maybe something we might try to do in the future. But on to Night 7 we go. Alrighty, Night 7, as I got us on the Sunlight Sun Plaza for this show, but Albright and Stan Hansen here. So Albright was brought for Russell's Court, accused of annoying everyone else with his constant boasting and cocky attitude. So the judge, Stan Hansen, found him guilty and sentenced him to remain silent for the rest of the night and buy drinks after the show. That's pretty great. As, the main event, so we got Kobashi and Kikuchi against Kawada and Masato Tanaka. We also have Masao and Ganemoto against Matsuno Fuchi and Taue. So kind of splitting up what could have been an 8-man into 2 tags. I think that's a good idea. Gives obviously the lineup a little bit more depth of the Cardinal lineup, rather. As, I think we'll have Masao and Kanemoto against Fuchi and Taue main event. Fuchi's going to beat Koji Kanemoto there in 20 minutes. And then Kobashi and Kikuchi against Kawada and Tanaka, as Kikuchi's going to win. Revenge win for him as well, beating Masato Tanaka in 20 minutes. As, then we can have Ultimo Dragon Super Astro against the Tactical Tactician squad of Otani and Funaki. Guess we'll just add that here. Probably we'll go with Hansen Spider, though, against Vader and Bam Bam. As the match before the co-main, it's Hansen's going to beat Bigelow in 20 minutes. I think that's the right call. So yeah, Bigelow's just kind of struggling a little bit. But, as far as it's not that big of a deal, it's not the end of the world type of thing. But the 6-man of the Blonde Squad of Johnny Ace, Candido, and Candido, or of, rather, Johnny Ace, Jericho, and Candido against Yuji Nagata, Too Cold Scorpio, and the Great Sasuke, as Jericho's going to be Too Cold Scorpio. That's going to be set for Steal the Show. As, I think that's a good spot for it. So now, we'll have Golden King versus Psychosis. Golden King's going to get the win in 10 minutes, a little lucha match. Then, Big Titan against Togi Makabe. Big Titan's going to get the win in 10 minutes. Then Brad Renegans against Neo Ogawa. As Brad Renegans, of course, will be beating Ogawa. As, it's not a little show. I think it's, we ran this Night 3. The, Sendai Sun Plaza. I think we'll, trying to think. We might go with, Nagata City Gym. It wouldn't be a sellout. Let's run the, Nakajima Sports Center. Might as well try to run everywhere. But yeah, Night 7, we'll have 47 for the opener. That's a poor way to start off the show. I figured it might struggle a little bit. Brad Renegans is struggling really, really bad. Compared to kind of where he was. We'll definitely probably have him start losing some guys as far as kind of elevating him and kind of phasing him out of UJPW. Now that we're in 1998, it's Big Titan, though, beating Togi Makabe the Exploder in 10:08, rather. As Big Titan, he looked good out there. So shout out Big Titan. It's 51. I can't believe that wasn't even the worst thing on the card. It's Golden King, rather, beating Psychosis with the Golden Kick at 9:41. Nice little lucha match, though. It's a fun match, though. We'll take a 60-75. For the 6-man of the Blonde Squad against the New World Order, Jericho tapping out Too Cold Scorpio with the Lion Tamer. It's a solid match, though. Everybody did about the same, just rather Yuji Nagata and Too Cold Scorpio kind of bringing the match down as a whole. But man, everybody else killing it. Candido with an 80. He's hit like a whole other gear since he's came back from rehab. He's been fantastic. Ultimate Dragon Super Astro beating the Tactical Tactician Squad as Funaki losing to the Astro Scissors. The Ultimate Dragon Super Astro, quite the team there. 78 for Hansen Spivey against Big Van Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow as Hanson beating Bam Bam with the armbar. Bigelow, he's somewhat getting better, it looks like. He's probably just staying around the 55-57 area, which is fine. Not the end of the world, but yeah, Hanson and Spivey, they were the better teams. I'm glad they get the win there. 83 for Kobashi and Kikuchi against Kawada and Masato Tanaka as Kikuchi tapping out Masato Tanaka in 20 minutes. Kobashi and Kikuchi getting the win. I think that makes a lot of sense there. Then the 88 for Masawa and Kanemoto as they lose, though, to Masato Fuji and Kiritawa, even though they do have excellent chemistry. I think that was the right call, though. Obviously, since, we had Kikuchi get his win back over Masato Tanaka. I got the crowd hotter, too, for the main event. Not that it matters. But yeah, it's a solid little show. A lot of tag matches. A lot of just straight-up tag matches on the back half of the show, but they all went well. Really the singles matches what kind of fell apart. It's just kind of funny, but obviously since they were the openers. As, just solid stuff there. We'll take it. We'll take that night 7. It's on to night 8. We go. Alrighty, night 8. So we're almost at the end already. I just feel like we just started booking the tour. We're almost at the end already. It's Callaway passing on tips on psychology to Masato Tanaka. So for this card, we got a 6-man with Holy Demon Army and New World Order. Obviously, that's kind of the main program, so that's probably going to be the main. But Dean Malenko, Wild Pegasus, Ultimo Dragon Super Astro matchup should rule as well. We also have Nagata against Satoru Sako, Hideki Ozaki against Tenzan, K&M Express against Choshu and Ishii as well. Oh yeah, that's a hell of a 6-man. As Hashimoto's going to beat Mike Awesome. I think that's a good call. So basically the same 6-man we ran, but instead of Vader, it's Awesome in that match. So that works out. I mean, this is a hell of a match. Though Dean Malenko, Wild Pegasus against Ultimo Dragon Super Astros. Ultimo Dragon's going to beat Dean Malenko. Their title match is coming up, though. I believe it is it is night 9, so it's coming up tomorrow. So that's a good, or actually, I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's like Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, so it's a couple days away. Then we'll have, let's see here, because it's either going to be the Blue Bloods against, it's probably going to be the better match, because they'll have chemistry. Takara Mori, that was going to beat Dave Taylor. And then Kikuchi and Kanemoto against Norman Smiley and Doug Williams. As Kikuchi and Kanemoto doing a good job, as well as they'll definitely outperform Norman and Doug Williams, because obviously Doug Williams is not quite ready yet for a big-time push. As Doug Furnace, though, probably be Ricky Choshu, since obviously he's going to be leaving us. Hell yeah. Then Eddie and Golden King, obviously that's another lucha match that could probably be really good. Eddie's going to get the win in 10 minutes. Tenzan and Hideki Ozaki, as Tenzan's going to beat Ozaki in 10 minutes. And then Nagata and Satoru Sako is Nagata's going to get that win as well. So, I mean, definitely a lot better undercard than what we kind of usually do, but it's still, I don't think it's going to deliver on the same level as kind of our previous undercards. We'll see, though. Might be just as good, if not better. 64 for the opener. Belly to the back suplex from Yuji Nagata over Satoru Sako in 10 minutes. So 63 from Nagata and 43, I want to say, or 53. I don't know. Either way, I went a little too fast there to remember what Satoru Sako's rating was. But Tenzan and Hideki Ozaka's another 64. Tenzan with a 61. 51 for Hideki Ozaki. As Tenzan with a tombstone. But the Tombstone driver in 10:08. That's not bad. Not a bad little undercard. 70 for Eddie and Golden King. Crazy they don't click, and it still was a 70. Gory special, though, from Eddie. Sucks they don't click, but I guess I could kind of see that. They never really wrestled against each other. I mean, they kind of, stylistically, from, like, a lucha perspective, they're both kind of like bases. They both don't really do a whole lot of crazy, like, high-flying shit. It would definitely be a lot more, like, I think, cohesive, like, doing it in the States, like an Americanized lucha match, or even a Japanese, like a lucha res match as well. If it was, like, in Japan, like in a Dragon Gate kind of setting, but, it's kind of a little awkward bout there, but it's, at least we'll take the 70. 72 for the K&M Express against Ishii and Choshu, as Ishii with a 25. Brutal. But yeah, the K&M Express are killing it right now. God bless them. They have been killing it. 78 for Kikuchi and Kanemoto against Doug Williams and Norman Smiley. It's crazy, Doug Williams, obviously he's not a young lion anymore. He's 4 years experience, but he's, like, almost double the guy that, like, both Makabe and Ishii are. It's just so funny. But yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a match, though, for Norman and Kikuchi and Kanemoto. Just obviously, Doug struggling there to keep up with everybody else. Steven Regal and Dave Taylor losing to Jun Akiyama and Takeya Mori. Listen, I mean, the better team, it was close. It was a lot closer than it probably should have been. As you had Takeya Mori beating Dave Taylor with a lariat, but Dave Taylor with the excellent chemistry, or with the rather great chemistry boost. It's a 54. That's not terrible. Not terrible at all. 89 for the Go main. Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro, beating Wild Pegasus, Dean Malenko's Ultimo Dragon, tapping out Dean Malenko with the Dragon Sleeper. Hell of a match there. 96 from Ultimo Dragon, 93 from Dean Malenko, and 87 for Wild Pegasus, 81 from Super Astro. Just, yeah. Anytime these two teams go at it, it is magic. And a 90 for the 6-man as a Jumping Spike DDT, rather. I'm just going so goddamn fast. I'm fucking shit up as Hashimoto pinning Mike Awesome in 1947 with that Jumping Spike DDT. But yeah, Hashimoto, best guy in the match. Fantastic. Fantastic. I think him going away from the New World Order, as far as getting away from Chono and Muto, joining the Holy Demon Army, I think that's just been better for everybody. I think it's added to the card. It's added to the promotion as well. I just think that was probably one of the better decisions booking wise that we've done throughout this series, because it's strengthened the other side of the rivalry. I think it's made it way better. I think it's evened it up a lot more too. So that's a hell of a show, honestly. That was a lot better than I expected. But yeah, not a bad night 8 show there. On to night 9 we go. So we just have nights 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then we'll be on to the final show. So 5 more shows left of the episode. It's not bad. Not bad. I literally felt like we just sat down and started recording, and now we're almost at the end. Alrighty, so I think we'll have the Junior Heavyweight title matchup be the main. I think that's the right call. Obviously a title match on the tour show is very, very big. As Taue, rather, passing on Psychology to Masato Tanaka. As, I think the big thing here with this show, I'm trying to think if we should either run Korakuen, because it's going to be we're at the, Junior Heavyweight title main event. I think that's a pretty big deal. And I think that definitely deserves like a Korakuen main event. I think that crowd will be rocking and rolling for it. As Ultimo Dragon will retain. He will get the win, of course. His first defense of his Junior Heavyweight title. And I think it's going to be a hell of a match, though. Obviously, Eddie and Super Astro will add that, as well as Eddie's going to be Super Astro, so they don't go 50-50 with that. A little swerve there to what we usually do. As Terry Funk, Brad Armstrong against Iizuka and Nuki Sano, as nice little Steal the Show matchup. Trying to see we could do with Nuki Sano and Iizuka there, because they could kind of use a nice little as far as Steal the Show matchup, and a nice little teaming potentially there for Iizuka and Nuki Sano. Then we'll have we also have Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki against Johnny Smith and Doug Williams. I guess that can go here, as Jinsei is going to beat Doug Williams. Terry Gordy and Taz against British Blue Bloods, which we're going to give Taz the win over Dave Taylor, which I think that's going to be another British Blue Bloods having a better performance than Taz and Terry Gordy, but it is what it is. Terry Gordy is going to be a little bit lacking, as well as stamina-wise as well. The Titanic powers, they did it again against the Fantastics, against the Kano brothers and El Samurai and Jushin Liger, as El Samurai going to be beating Tommy Rogers. Just kind of needed something for El Samurai and Liger to do as far as to get a win, building up to their Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup. As Sayama and Osamu Nishimura against the Tactical Technician Squad of Shinichi Funaki and Timon Honda. Timon Honda is going to be beating Sayama, trying to give them a major win, and then Wellington Wilkins Jr. beating Muhammad Yone. So that is not bad at all. 128 on the time. That is pretty short compared to what we relatively do, but the main event is massive, so I don't really hate that too much. But 62 for the opener. It's Wellington Wilkins Jr. getting the win with the submission in 10 minutes. 67 for Sayama and Osamu Nishimura getting the win over Shinichi Funaki and Demon Honda. Demon Honda pinning Satoru Sayama with a German suplex in 10:27. At 80 for the Takano brothers, El Samurai Jushin Liger team against the Titanic Powers. Did it again, and the Fantastics as El Samurai pinning Tommy Rogers, the Samurai Bomb. Pretty solid shit there. Solid little 80. 77 for Regal and Dave Taylor over Terry Gordy and Taz. as a Taz submitting Dave Taylor to Kata May. Taz gets outperformed. Brutal. Wrong team definitely won. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. That's a tough break there, British Blue Bloods. That is my bad. It's an 80, or rather a 76 rather, from Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki against Doug Williams and Johnny Smith. Jinsei Shinzaki getting the win though, in 10:25. It's nice that Jinsei Shinzaki's finally getting some great ratings there. It's a nice little tag match. It's not bad. I don't mind that tag match at all. That was actually really good. 76 for Brad Armstrong, Terry Funk against Naoki Sano and Iizuka as Terry Funk with the spinning hold over Iizuka. Yeah, Iizuka's almost in the 70s. Definitely need to be booking him a lot more. And I think that's a good little matchup for him. Wouldn't mind him joining Shudo, to be honest. That kind of helps them out and give them some heavyweight push as well. I don't mind that. And 82 for Super Astro and Eddie Guerrero, as Astro was the better performer. Probably could have got the win there, but Eddie getting the win with an 82. That is not bad at all. And an 89 for our main event as Ultimate Dragon with the Dragon Sleeper. Fuck yeah, as the first defense for the Junior Heavyweight title. Ultimate Dragon, though, 89, 83 for Wild Pegasus. It's not bad. I was hoping to be a little bit better, but I don't think we got kind of the crowd involved as much as we could have. Kind of building throughout the card, but not bad. Not bad at all. Can't really complain too much, as Night 10 is upon us, and we're now in the double digits. So we just have nights 10, 11, and 12, and we'll be on to the final show. Alright, Night 10, as they got us in the star lanes. I don't mind that. As I'm sure, unless it's not a sellout, but it probably will be, as Golden King, spot for Wrestler's Court, accused of being an hour late to pick up his assigned travel partner, as the judge standing to found him guilty and sentenced him to pay for Chef Brothers meals for the next 3 shows. So the Holy Demon Army, Super Generation Army, definitely the main. I'm assuming it is this, yeah, it's the 6-man. Kobashi's going to get the win as well for the Super Generation Army, so obviously that's, that's a no-brainer main event for sure. So Los Bravano, Can-Am Express with Teo Kia, a little bit different. We got the Blonde Bombers against Los Bravano as well. The Golden Cosmic Kings. Oof, there's just not a deep card. Big Titan Scott Norton and Brad Armstrong against the New World Order. I guess this could be the co-main, depending on what it is. Oh, it's Tenkoji with Eugene the God. It's the Steal the Show match. So Brad Armstrong's going to get the win there. So we got, boy, I mean, Los Bravano, I'm assuming it's going to be the Headhunters and Damien. Yeah. Against the Can-Am Express. Teo Kia's Doug Furnace is going to get the win. I don't know what's going to be the co-main. Blonde Bombers against Psychosis and... Oh, that's another Steal the Show matchup. We'll just have that be... Something's got to go over like 20 minutes. So I guess it'll be this. That's just brutal. Brutal. But yeah, we're going to give the win to Candido and Jericho's. They're going to beat the Vampiros Psychosis team. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll put it after that. Hayabusa Jinsei Shinzaki against the Fantastics. As Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki, they just keep on picking up some wins. The Golden Cosmic Kings against Otani and Funaki. As the Golden King will be getting the win over Shinjiro Otani. It's a nice win for Golden Cosmic Kings. And bump that up, bump that up. That's actually bumped. Let's bump it up a little bit more. Mama Yone and Yuki Sano getting the win. And Bigelow over Neo Ogawa to kick off the show. As, I think this is going to be a tough-ass show to really put together. Because that is pretty abysmal, to be honest, how we're going to get to this point. But hopefully, we somehow pull out a good show here. We really went bottom heavy, though. Bam Bam with the greens from Asbury Park over Neo Ogawa. Tough break there. That's a tough way to start off the show. 69 from Nuki Sano and Mama Yone with a scoop brainbuster. That was a 69. A nice rating there. 78 from Los Bravano against Teo Kia and the Can-Am Express. We're just trying to see, as far as we can change it up a little bit instead of using the Grey Gamma. Probably could have still used the Grey Gamma, but the Can-Am Express still getting the win. Nonetheless, Doug Furnace pinning Headhunter B with a Frankensteiner. I would love to see that. A minor concussion for Shinichi Funaki here as they lose to the Super Astro Golden King team. which of course they have great chemistry, but that still wasn't the greatest of matches, I think, because the injury kind of threw everything off. But also Gold King and Otani were involved in the finishes, with both being 58s. Not the greatest of performances. 78 though for Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki against Bobby Fulton and Jackie Fulton, as Jinsei Shinzaki picking up more wins along the way of this tour. 75 for Brad Armstrong and the Titanic Powers against the New World Order. Brad Armstrong, though, with the side Russian leg sweep over Satoshi Kojima. Probably shouldn't have him won, but again, he was the best guy in the match, so would have been kind of weird if he was involved in the finish. Probably should have had New World Order beat like either Nagata or Tenzan beat Scott Norton, but that's alright. Got the crowd buzzing, though. So 77 for the Blonde Bombers against Los Pravano. Blonde Bombshell from Candido over Psychosis. Right team wins. Better team there. Nice little kind of junior tag match. And then the main event's a 6-man with an 85 rating as Kawada and Kobashi with 88s, 92 from Masawa, and then Taue with 78, 75 from Kuchi, and then Masato Tanaka rounding up the group with 64 as Kobashi with the Burning Hammer over Taue. Love it. Absolutely love it. 84, though, for the show rating. Not the greatest. I figured that was going to kind of struggle a little bit. This could have been a lot higher, though, but kind of is what it is. We'll take it. It could have been a lot worse. It's on to Night 11. We go. Alrighty, Night 11, as we will try to wrap up the tour. It's Tommy Rogers brought for Russell's court accused of failing to pick up his share of the tab at the bars. The judge standings and found him guilty and sentenced him by drinks from after the show. With us, running potentially, as far as obviously we'll probably be running the Tokyo Dome to end out the tour. So we'll probably try and run. So we can either run the Wakayama Professional Gym or we can go back to the Nagata City Gymnasium, which I think we will. Be close to a sellout, so that's fine by me. But the main event, though, that is a good question. So we got that as far as Ultimate Dragon, Super Astro, Sasuke, and Yuji Nagata. It's a fun little match, but I don't think that's going to be main event quality. Hansen Candido against Vader and 2 Cold Scorpio. I kind of like that match. That's kind of fun. Yeah, let's do it. It's Vader's going to beat Candido, though, as Vader and 2 Cold Scorpio getting the win there. I love that match, though. That should be fun. Then we'll add Ultimate Dragon Super Astro against the New World Order of Great Sasuke and Yuji Nagata. It's Ultimate Dragon beating Yuji Nagata there in 10 minutes. It's wild to have that be a Steel Show matchup when that's potentially the co-main. I guess it could be this, but I don't know. It'd probably go over pretty well. He's going to beat Kazuya Yamasaki. Nice little 6-minute matchup. But again, we're really banking on the junior division to kind of pull us through this tour. At this point, it's Takeya Omori and Jun Akiyama against the British Combat Club with Johnny Smith and Dave Taylor, as Takeya Omori beating Dave Taylor in 10 minutes. Spivey and Jericho against Awesome and Kojima. Love that, but Kojima's going to beat Jericho. It's the Blonde Squad losing the New World Order again. Then we'll have, as far as an undercard, featuring mostly British Combat Club guys, actually all British Combat Club guys, Koji Kanemoto and Doug Williams. Koji Kanemoto obviously getting the win. Norman Smiley against Shinichi Nakano. Obviously Norman getting the win. Then Steven Regal, Togi Makabe, which Regal will be winning in 10 minutes. Yeah, very, very, very thin compared to what we've been booking throughout the tour. I think I was just kind of nervous about guys getting injured towards the end of the tour, so hence why we're kind of getting our foot off the pedal a little bit. But it still should be a pretty good show. We'll see, though, as, there's a straight rotator cuff for Steven Regal. That's fun. Here I was like, we need to make sure nobody gets hurt. And also, we put a slow build on that in a 10-minute match, so that kind of fucked everything up as well. That's brutal. And it was Togi Makabe who caused it. Norman Smiley, though, beating Shinichi Nakano with the Norman Conquest. Nice little matchup, 77. I'll take a 75 for Doug Williams and Koji Kanemoto. They have pretty good chemistry, so that works out well. Kanemoto with the Moonsault in 10 minutes. 73 for Jericho and Spivey against Kojima and Mike Awesome. Nice win for the New World Order as Kojima with the Lariat over Chris Jericho. Yeah, Awesome and Kojima, they were the better team. Makes sense in 75 for Johnny Smith and Dave Taylor against Takeya Omori and Jun Akiyama. Takeya Omori getting the win with the back-to-belly pile driver over Dave Taylor. Again, better team wins. Decent little matchup, though. I'll take the 75 and 80. How about that? Sasuke and Yuji Nagata with excellent chemistry. Boy, that New World Order just fucking lucks out. That is super lucky of them. Ultimate Dragon, though, submitting Yuji Nagata with the Dragon Sleeper. Hell of a match, though. Yeah, that's That's a hell of a tandem as far as Sasuke and Nagata teaming up and having excellent chemistry, and also, I mean, that just got the crowd buzzing in general. It's an 80 for the six-man co-main event. Eddie pinning Kazuya Yamasaki with a brainbuster. Nuki Sano and Yamasaki did well, so did Kiyoshi Tamura. They're just not at the same level as the trio team of Eddie, Wild Pegasus, Dean Malenko. It's our main event. It's an 82. Not great, but a solid little matchup. It's crazy. Too Cold Scorpio and Big Van Vader did about the same, and and Candido outperformed Stan Hansen. It's crazy. Chris Candido was the best guy in this match. That is pretty nuts. Obviously, Hansen's kind of, I think, declining at this rate, and Vader's declining as well. It's not the same guys they were 5 years ago, and that makes sense because they definitely are not those same guys. But a solid show. Yeah, maybe not solid, decent show. I would say an 81 overall rating. Could have been better. Could have been worse. But yeah, now we have our final tour show. Hopefully, nobody else gets fucking hurt. Sucks that we've had a concussion. We've had now a strained rotator cuff. Guys are getting banged up here towards the end of the tour, and you hate to see it. Hopefully, everything kind of gets squared away, and we can have a solid go-home show before we end out the tour. Alrighty, as the main event will be that six-man tag, obviously. But my god, a lot of backstage incidents here. Let's see, Shunya Kano was in fine form before the show, keeping everyone in a great mood with his hilarious road stories, created a relaxed and happy atmosphere. Way to go. As Tentanabe, sort of before Wrestlers Court, accused of making a mess backstage and not cleaning it up, knowing everyone else. As the judge stands and finally we get the incidents and to clean it up in the My Dream Sun after the show. Then our passing on psychology tips from Taue to Masato Tanaka there. So our main event, six-man tag. It will be Hashimoto, Ultimo Dragon, in Super Astro against the New World Order team, Kaiji Muto, the Great Sasuke, and Masahiro Chono. I think we're going to have Sasuke beat Super Astro. I think that's a better match. But obviously the actual team, beating the kind of thrown together team of the challengers. Well, challenger plus, former challenger in Ultimo Dragon. But also champion too, with being the junior champ. I just now realized I have to change that. Because obviously we can't have. So that will be. Well, that'd be Yuji Nagata, I guess. That works for me. As Jericho's still gonna beat Too Cold Scorpio. Nice little change there. And now that will have to be changed to somebody else as well. We'll have that be. I think I just have it be either Akira or let's have it be Sasha Aoyagi. Why not? Why not? We actually might. We could probably give one of these guys a win. I think of Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor could beat somebody here. As far as, Kashinaka, not really. Probably not Sky. Yeah, let's have him beat Brad Renegans. Why not? So we're going nuts with these changing of the cards. Yeah, I think that's the right decision, though. Alright, so now that we've got that squared away. So we have Miracle Man's Alliance against Los Pavano. So it's, obviously Albright, Gordy, and Doc against the Headhunters and Vampiros. Headhunter B beating Gary Albright. Albright unhappy about that. Terry Gordy kind of struggle a little bit. So we also have, that Terry Funk, Brad Armstrong, Dean Malenko, Wild Pegasus match is pretty good. Brad Armstrong going to be beating Wild Pegasus, so I like that. That could probably be the co-main, actually. New World Order Blonde Squad, we'll add that. So obviously, Vader, Too Cold Scorpio, Yuji Nagata, Hansen, Jericho, Candido. Jericho beating Too Cold Scorpio. Then Tengoji against Dan Spivey and Johnny Ace. Steal the show matchup with Johnny Ace. Going to be getting the win over Tenzan. Or losing, rather, to Tenzan. I think that's the right call. We won't have it be Johnny Ace, though. We'll have it be Dan Spivey. Spivey is struggling. For sure. Then we'll have Renegans and Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor obviously getting the win. Renegans pissed. It's alright. Try to go out there and shoot with them. And then Wild and Ready against Azuka and Yamasaki. What a win here for Wild and Ready. As Manabu Nakanishi going to give him a win. Trying Try with Nakanishi. Well, actually, let's have it be Takayama. At least from a size perspective, that makes more sense to do. So Yamasaki's also furious by that. And then Akira against Mama Yone, as Akira beating Mama Yone. It's a nice win there. Yeah, so we'll have that be... I'm trying to think where we need to run that we haven't ran in a while. Yeah, I guess we can run the Wakayama Prefectural Gym again, or we can go with either the War Memorial Hall or Osaka Prefectural Gym. Yeah, I think we'll go Osaka Prefectural Gym for this one. Let's run it as a 56 for the opener. Sakura with the submission win, 9:55. 68 for Nakanishi and Yoshiro Takayama as they beat the better team, Yamasaki and Iizuka, 68-65 split. I'm telling you, once they get rolling, it's going to be no stopping them. They're going to be massive force in the tag team division. I really do think that. I think just size-wise, finishers-wise, it just makes a lot of sense. But Takayama, though, with the average German suplex at 950. That was a 68-58 for Brad Rennington and Dave Taylor. Yeah, literally, they did the same. Dave Taylor with the bridging fallaway slam over Brad Rennington at 10:23. 71 for Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima against Dan Spivey and Johnny Ace. Tenzan Tombstone Driver over Dan Spivey. Yeah, right call. Best guy beats the worst guy. Makes sense. An 80 for the New World Order Blonde Squad, 6-man, Candido and Jericho and Stan Hansen winning over the New World Order, as Jericho's submitting Tuco Scorpio with a Lion Tamer. Not bad. Usually got a worst guy in the match, though. That's kind of wild. Probably could have had him lose there, but that's alright. That is alright. An 82 for the Miracle Bonds Alliance against Los Pavanos, as Headhunter B pinning Gary Albright with a leg drop. Albright's getting there, but he's still a ways away from everybody else. I'm glad he took the loss there. Then an 89 for the co-main, Dean Malenko Wild Pegasus, losing to Terry Funk and Brad Armstrong. What a match, though. Side Russian leg sweep from Brad Armstrong over Wild Pegasus. Then a 92 for our main event. Thank God nobody gets hurt. As the Great Sasuke pitting Super Astro with the Michinoku Driver. What a match. And what a way to end out the tour. That major main event. Hell yeah, we'll take the 90. As now, on to the final show of the tour. Will we have a new unified heavyweight champion in Shinya Hashimoto? Will we have a new junior heavyweight champion in the Great Sasuke? Tag team titles on the line in the main event. It's going to be a banger. That is for sure. Alrighty, as we are at the New Year Giants Series 1998 show. So the main event last year was Kobashi and Doc, which is only 92. That's kind of wild. But yeah, then the All-Age Heavyweight title matchup. It's Kaiji Muto and Ultimo Dragon. From a 99 to 100 a year later. British Combat Club against the Can-Am Express 2 All-Asia Tag Team title matchup. That was in 99. 98 for Liger and Hayabusa. So everything on that card, literally half of it was better than the main event. Just, obviously not Hansen, Spivey, and Chono and Hashimoto, and then the opener in the second match. But everything else, and also that's just, that is crazy. Oh yeah, Nippon TV, Telemundo. I cannot believe Nippon TV, who fucked us out of a cage match. Backstage incident, though, for Gary Albright. They want to put over Yuji Nagata, that's huge. That is massive. As, main event. Tag team title matchup. As the Holy Demon Army against Masao and Kobashi. Tag team title matchup. Kenta Kobashi will win, and they will retain. I think that's the right call. Of course, these two teams, they've, what was the first time they faced against each other? I think it was this J-Cup. Which that was a draw. Then we had Masao and Kobashi against the Holy Demon Army. So they were 1-1-1 going into this match. Pretty solid. 2 99s and a 90. Because obviously the tag league matchup was on a non-event. So yeah, that's going to be massive. That will be massive. I believe that should be the main event. So our co-main event, though, it is Shinya Hashimoto beating Kaiji Muto, finally a new unified Grand Heavyweight Champion. But also, the reason why it's not the main event is because of their chemistry problems. Because if not, this definitely should have been the main, right? It's going to be weird to crown a new champion in the co-main like this. Hashimoto's never beaten him too. Like, there's so much riding on that match for Hashimoto that everyone's expecting him maybe to lose. For him to beat him and to be the new Grand Heavyweight Champion. I love it. I love it. And then I want to make sure I kind of forget the rest of the card order. Oh yeah, that's right. Sasuke and Ultimate Dragon is here, and we have a new junior champion back to the junior title for the Great Sasuke. The main thing here is this is Ultimate Dragon's kind of farewell to the junior division. Blessed. He's just too talented. We need more heavyweights. We also need guys that can be able to fluctuate, between the heavyweight and junior if need be. But I think Ultimate Dragon is not needed anymore in the junior division. So he did everything. Won the best Super Juniors, won the J Cup, won the junior heavyweight title, junior tag team titles, done it all. It's time to move on into bigger and better things, and I think that's the right call. But yeah, Sasuke getting the win, beating Ultimate Dragon, I think that's the right call. And now we'll have Ultimate Dragon kind of take on more heavyweight guys. You'll probably have him and Astro take on either Awesome and Bam Bam, or someone from the New Order, or even Tenkoji even to kind of help elevate them into more bigger and better things type of thing. Yeah, I might even potentially see them as future All Asia Tag Team Champions for sure. That could definitely be a possibility. It's the K&M Express against Roshi and Kensuke Sasaki. As the K&M Express will lose here to Roshi and Kensuke Sasaki. I just feel like even though the K&M Express, they haven't been All Asia Tag Team Champions during this save. Last time they were the All Asia Tag Team Champions was 1991 into 1992. But they have been the champions 4 times. Just don't think it's necessary to do it 5 times. Just don't think it's necessary. First defense for Kensuke Sasaki and Hiroshi as well. I think that's the right call. A tough break, though, for the K&M Express. Then Hansen and Vader. All Asia Heavyweight title matchup, as Big Van Vader will retain over Stan Hansen. About to say, I think we have not done this before in the saves. That's kind of wild that we've waited so long for it. But we get it. And Vader will win. He will retain. So the New World Order, sure, they lose out on the heavyweight title, which is massive, but they still have the All Asia Heavyweight title. They have the new Junior Heavyweight title. They have things looking up for them, as of right now at least. And then Fuchi and Ogawa of the Holy Demon Army, they will win, and they are the new Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So the Holy Demon Army, how about that? Getting the Heavyweight Championship and the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. So also, you're seeing the flow of the card, and you're seeing oh wow, the Holy Demon Army, they might be the new kind of kings of UJPW, but they end up losing out in the main event to kind of complete that. But they are at the early stages of that, though, for sure. They're making their way there. The Blonde Squad against the New World Order, as the New World Order will beat the Blonde Squad. I think we're gonna have. Instead of having instead of having Too Cold Scorpio and Jericho be involved in the finish, I think we're going to have Awesome beat Spivey. I think that's the right call. But this is set for Steal the Show. It's going to be 12 minutes. Hopefully that goes over well. Then the British Combat Club against Super Generation Army, the opener. What a match here. As, Koji Kanemoto beating Dave Taylor. That's going to be a pretty solid matchup. Obviously, Dave Taylor's going to be the worst guy in the match, but everybody else in that match should go over pretty well. Yeah, make sure we're at the Tokyo Dome. For this one, 83,000 could have been there. God damn it. Cannot wait to run a bigger venue. If we ever will be able to is the thing. But, yeah, what a show this shall be. Massive, massive stuff. So the Excite series, they will have a All Asia Heavyweight title. Not All Asia Heavyweight title, rather, but the All Asia Heavyweight Champion in Big Van Vader will take on Shinya Hashimoto in the main event of the final show for that card, and that's going to be massive, of course, because I always like doing the Excite series, doing the 2 champions battling it out in the main event, so that should be fun. Also going to have Eddie Guerrero take on the Great Sasuke in the Junior Heavyweight title matchup. We'll probably have, as far as All Asia Tag Team title matchup, I don't think we'll do Ultimo Dragon Super Astro just yet, challenging for those belts, but definitely on the horizon for them. And of course, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, I'm sure, will defend their belts. So there'll be a lot of stuff on that card for sure. And, we're trying to make this as good, if not better, than this show. Because I think this will be an absolute banger, which we will see right now. Is a 90 for the opener. Koji Kanemoto pinning Dave Taylor's moonsault. And that's a hell of a way to start off the show. As, Regal the 74 with that injury still performed, as far as he still was better than KO Mori and Dave Taylor. So could have been a lot worse The World win, though, for the Super Generation Army. 79 for the Blonde Squad against the New World Order. This should open up the show. That's alright. Mike Awesome pinning Dan Spike with the Awesome Bomb. 2 Gold Scorpio. And Mike Awesome and Chris Candido, the best guys in the matches. That's kind of wild. Yeah, I mean, Bam Bam, Yuji Nagata, and Dan Spike were the worst guys in the match. It's kind of funny to see. 95, though, for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup, as Fuchi and Ogawa are the new Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Fuchi with the STF over El Samurai. I think that's the right call. I think Liger and El Samurai, they're a great team, but, kind of shifting away from them and on to the Holy Demon Army. And 99 for Vader and Hansen. Just makes sense. They're going to beat the piss out of each other. Someone's probably going to lose an eye. It's going to be awesome. But the Vader bomb for Big Van Vader over Stan Hansen. He retains the second defense of the All Asia Heavyweight title reign for him. And at 97 for the All Asia Tag Team title matchup. Hiroshi Hase and Kensuke Sasaki beating the K-9 Express. Probably should have had them not go after the All Asia Heavyweight title matchup, kind of looking back, but it is what it is. The first defense, though, for Hase and Kensuke Sasaki there. So 98 for Sasuke and Ultimo Dragon, new junior champion. A second reign for Sasuke. Quick little reign for Ultimo Dragon. We usually have these long-ass reigns for champions, so it's nice to sometimes switch it up a little bit and kind of play a little hot potato with the belt for a little bit at the end of 97 and into 98 as well. But yeah, I think that's the right call. Should be a banger. That was absolutely what it needed to be. Could have been maybe a little bit better if there was no lack of psychology, but we'll gladly take that 98. It's an 88 though for Hashimoto and Kaiji Muto. I'm glad we didn't have this be the main, but that's unfortunate though to see. But Hashimoto is the new Unified Grand Heavyweight Champion. Gets the one with the vertical drop Banebuster. Somebody finally beats Kaiji Muto in a big time main event. And what a guy to have it be in Shinya Hashimoto. And our main event's at 99. It was hoping to be 100. But Kawada and Taue losing to Masao and Kobashi. It's Kobashi with the Brainbuster over Taue. Yeah, nothing more you can really say there. Just incredible title match. Hell of a main event. Hell of a show. Good luck topping that. Yeah, everything was light blue but the fucking second match on the card. We're going to get to the point where everything's going to be light blue. And I don't know what we're going to do. That's going to be pretty nuts. As, yeah, I mean, what more can you say? It delivered exactly how we expected. As we're just going to put over Masao Kobashi. And Hashimoto's going to get a hug, though. What a moment for him. And yeah, now, we're having a unique phase in the heavyweight scene. Everyone was chasing Kaiji Muto now. And Hashimoto's beating him. Now we're going to see how Hashimoto does as the champion. As far as, he's got the Excite series coming up with Vader. Vader's got a chance to be both All Asia Heavyweight Champion and Unified Grand Heavyweight Champion. To do the same thing that Kaiji Muto did. So that's massive. And then after that, we're going into the Champion Carnival. So as far as who's going to be the champion going in, should be interesting. And also to see, can someone, what's Kaiji Muto going to do? Because he could definitely go back-to-back and win this Champion Carnival this year in 98 and take on Shinya Hashimoto in the main event for the heavyweight title to get a rematch. So that definitely is plausible. As, oh yeah, we have Akira Raijin. Finally, a young lion that we actually could get from the dojo. That's nice to see. But yeah, so that is kind of the future, the Excite series on the horizon. That's what we got. Massive stuff going in the future. And 1998, it's starting off with a banger, for sure. This first episode of 98, and we made $3 million, Jesus Christ. Or over $70 million. Things are rocking. Things are rocking for you, JPW. And we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.